Alright guys, welcome in. If I can get this scene to change, we'll fire this baby up and get this show started. We are looking at CGI back there, the Boston Dynamic Robust, but that's what we're leaning towards. That's where we're going to end up if the NWO gets their way. So the bunker fuel operation is still continuing off the West Coast, and crazy, it was just running completely fine, and now it's not moving at all. That is insane. More of the censorship and slowing the streams, cutting the streams off. In fact, I got an example today. Now, if you live off grid and you don't have a cell phone service, you don't have cable internet, you have to buy satellite internet, and they rob you. Last couple of months, I'm paying 2 internet bills, which is around $523 until I use up all the data on the other one. But this is how YouTube gets us. So I just got an email 2 hours ago. Your video is suitable for all advertisers. Freak catastrophic tornado polar vortex flip. I'm like, man, I don't even remember that video. I went and looked, and this is from December 18th, 2018. So it took them 11 months to say this video was okay. We can put some ads on it. So that's how insane YouTube is. It takes them, nobody will ever watch this video again. You know, once they're out, they get seen, and then they just rot in the internet space. But I did post a link in the description if you want to go watch this, because we talked about the polar vortex flip and how it was parked. We were getting tornadoes in December. If anybody remembers that, we were getting, it was actually a pretty good show, and we showed all kinds of information of the weather modification. So that's how YouTube likes to treat us here. So we will earn 0 revenue on that because it'll never be seen. Alright, so here we are. We're looking at the bunker fuel. We're going to jump into just a few articles. Then we'll get into all the maps. Check out all the anomalies going on across the world. We're looking right now. We're looking at the every 5 minute. We're looking at just 12 images. Why is it not loading? I don't know. Let me stop it here. Let's just go ahead and jump into a couple articles. The new radar helps scientists see inside the wildfires, and they fit on the back of a truck. Coming out of the Cartel News Network. Scientists studying California's devastating wildfires are using a powerful new radar system that could help them better understand how they spread, how firefighters should fight them. Well, if they quit dropping aerosols that, makes the fires burn hotter, like thermite being dropped out of the back of these planes, exhaust fumes, and all that stuff. You know what's crazy is we just reported that NASA was out doing this very same thing over in India. Just last week, the NASA plane was out here. Hey, thanks out there, Christy H. They were doing the same thing by a plane. But now they're doing it off the back of a truck here in California. I'm not in California, but I'm just saying. So the mobile Ka band, the Doppler radar rig, is similar to what meteorologists use to monitor the weather, but it is finely tuned to detect ash particles in the fire flume. The director of San Jose State University Fire Weather Research Laboratory. Now, it works by emitting bursts of millimeter wave energy that bounces off particles and can be detected by radar. Isn't that 5G? Doesn't 5G burst millimeter waves of energy all through your neighborhoods, which means they can see inside your houses, see the the LED lights in your house. It's all just a big system to X-ray everything everywhere. So this system got its first real-world test last month with the Briceburg fire near Yosemite National Park and the Kincaid fire, which burned more than 77,000 acres, destroyed 374 structures in Northern California. The Kincaid fire has been burning since October 23rd and is about 80 cents per contained, according to the CAL FIRE. You really want to understand the wind flow around fires. We don't understand how fires create their own weather. Heat rises, causes, pushes the cold air up, which then cycles the heat. Heat causes wind. I mean, you don't have to be a scientist to know that heat causes the wind. That's what causes the jet stream. That's what causes everything. You have an atmospheric heating event which starts the winds. Fire creates its own wind. It creates its own fire, or like fire tornadoes and all that stuff. Just nuts. So how could they not know the impact that has on fire spread? I mean, this is just nonsense. He said they've been able to detect and monitor embers as they pulled up through the fire's column of smoke and then drop downwind of the fire, which can start new fires. But that's not what started the fires. A first look inside the extreme Kincaid fire flume from the K-band Doppler radar. Amazing detail of the structures likely associated with the ember transporting during this fire. The radar can also see through smoke to see structures such as fire whirls. What in the world is going on with that? Which he compared to many fire tornadoes. They are erratic and dangerous and often hard to see. Right now we're doing research because we want to understand the physics of wildfire spread and how fires create their own weather and all that fire atmosphere interaction that we do, so it's scientifically very valid. But there's an operational need too. Oh man, so they're using the LiDAR. The new radar can detect structures inside the fire much faster. About 45 seconds to scan the fire's flume with LiDAR. The new LiDAR radar can do it in 5 or 10 seconds. Half of this article is just nonsense. So, it's crazy that NASA is out over in India doing this very same thing from planes. They just sent a whole crew out there to do it. Here we go. The U.S. Department prepares for mass internet censorship. Well, look at China. What's going on in China? Their internet is so censored, you can't do anything. That's what they want to do across the world. They want to give everybody internet, but yet they want to be able to control what everybody sees. That way, they're going to try to make everybody think the same way. One world government, one world religion, Project Blue Beam and all that stuff. So the U.S. military has issued a call for research proposals from technology partners for a developed and automated system capable of scanning the entire internet, locating and censoring content deemed as false media. Well, that would take out every mainstream media on the planet. According to the government documents, the requested solution would provide innovative systematic technologies for analyzing media that will help identify, deter, understand adversary disinformation campaigns. How about the freedom of choice? How about the freedom to learn what we want to learn, to listen to what we want to listen to? So just another way to take us out, because we're putting a dent in the New World Order. So our own military is going against us. DARPA the U.S. Defense Department, the Pentagon. You know, they want to be able to control every narrative on the planet. You know, they want to, hypnotize you and all that stuff. A lot of us are way too smart for that. And then we got this article here. I didn't really get to read into this article, but we'll just kind of go over it together. 4 new papers, one alarm dispelling conclusion, future sea rise may not threaten islands after all. As reported in 4 separately published papers, scientists have discovered a mechanism whereby islands can build themselves up. Hey, thanks out there, Ricky. Naturally, thwarting the threat of sea level rise. Implications of island building are profound, as it will offset existing scenarios of a dramatic increase in island flooding. Earlier this year, in 2019, identified a global trend in island shoreline net growth despite the recent so-called sea level rise. I'll kind of add in my own stuff with this. So the welcome news is that none of the islands larger than 10 hectares of the 334 islands larger than 5 hectares have decreased in size since 1980. Nearly 90% of the world's islands have been stable to expanding in coastal areas during recent decades. We've been talking about this forever. You got Denison down there in Tasmania or Australia or New Zealand, wherever that is, that shows the same thing. It doesn't show any sea level rise. It actually shows it going down. It's all a big fat lie. The crazy thing, they did a lot of these tests at the atoll islands where all the nuclear bombs have been dropped. And here, I'll post this link in the description and in the information box there if you guys want to check this out. So let me post that in there, and I'll post it in the chat. And if somebody wants to post this over on D Live and Facebook and Twitch, that'd be much appreciated. All right, here we go. The GMO Impossible Burger tests positive for high levels of Monsanto glyphosate. We knew this was coming. As millions of people seek alternatives to meat. Really? Is there really millions of people out there looking for something that's not meat but looks like meat, bleeds like meat, but it's not? So the very first sentence, man, is a big lie. Millions of people seek alternatives to meat in hopes of cutting back on consumption. How about a diet? The plant-based burger sector has seized the opportunity to become one of the fastest growing new players in the food industry. Hold on, I gotta get a drink of coffee here. Yeah, sorry I'm coughing a lot, man. I always forget to put my mask on. I'm doing insulation and all kinds of nasty crap that I should be wearing a mask, and I get lazy and forget to put it on, and I'm coughing all night. All right, so the Impossible Burger Company is perhaps the most famous in this department, but the ingredient it uses to achieve this signature texture and appearance is heme, also known as soy hemoglobin. I don't even know how to pronounce that. The particular ingredient just so happens to be made from genetically modified soy, according to a new report from the Moms Across America website. While many people view the Impossible Burger as a healthier choice compared to regular beef, they are neglecting to mention that the aforementioned ingredient, GMO soy, has been linked to organic damage in lab animals. Now the burger is also being exposed for its surprisingly high levels of the most controversial cancer-linked substances found in our body today, the glyphosate. Mr. Monsanto and the Bear's best-selling Roundup weed killer. Man, don't eat any of this Beyond Meat. Don't eat fast food, period. Hey, thanks out there, Rob. And if I miss you, thanks out there for helping us. Man, it's just nuts. It's crazy times that we're living in. Actually, you know, I missed the 80s. Back in the 80s, the sex, the drugs, rock and roll, that was the good times. Now we're in the twilight zone, in the matrix. Stopping, everything that is fun that we should be doing. And we're down to have to do our own citizen journalism because the mainstream is just fake news. It's all about their agendas. So while we're seeing all the bunker fuel operations out off the West Coast, New York, New Jersey container gateway ready to keep ahead of the Long Beach. For the first time this year, the port of New York and New Jersey has become the second largest container gateway to the U.S. and port making investments to ensure it will retain a top spot in maritime freight in the years to come. So we got more of these cargo ships that are dumping out 13 million times more sulfur and nitrogen and human waste out in the ocean than a whole city. So now, why do we not see the bunker fuel very often over in the Pacific? We only see it before a huge storm is going over to Europe. Let me just turn on the layer. Is there any out here right now? Let me just look real quick. We actually have a few way up there, on the other side, up in the North Sea. How about down here off the East Coast? Do we have any bunker fuel operations? Not at all. There's no big weather event going, so they don't need them. But are they over here off the coast of San Diego and Los Angeles? Heck yeah, they're out here. They've been out here for days. Now, when I show you later on, California should be getting rain here in a few days, but they're not going to. They're going to stop it. And we're going to show you. Yeah, definitely grow your own, man. You can't trust anything coming out of a store. So in the fake mainstream news, we got Bay Area mayors call for PG&E to become the publicly owned utility. They always say publicly owned, but it's not. This is basically a government takeover of a company that has too much power. But do you want the same government that has caused the tent city situation on the West Coast, the immigration issues on the West Coast, the highest taxes on the planet on the West Coast? Do you want these same government officials taking over your power grid and your gas company? Just say no. Don't let them do it. If that's not bad enough news for you, how about this? 11,000 experts propose final solution to the global warming is just kill billions of people. I mean, it states it right on the Georgia Guidestones. This is just insane. So over 40 years ago, scientists from 50 nations pivoted on a long-standing global cooling thesis that was going to blanket the Earth in ice and instead adopted what is called the CO2 climate problem, which would lead to theories on global warming, rising tides, and economic catastrophe. Now, for 4 decades later, a larger group of scientists is sounding another much more urgent alarm, according to Bloomberg. It's come out of Bloomberg Economics. Some 11,000 scientists call for population control and mass climate alarm. Warming oceans, melting ice keep lifting the oceans. BS. I call complete BS. We've disproven this time and time again. Time and time again. This is a flat lie, man. Look, they're only starting the records at 1993. If you go back to 1803, the sea level was way higher than it is now. This is a complete fabricated lie. Just to, to let us know they want to kill, millions of people. So these so-called 11,000 experts from around the world have banded together to call for solutions to the climate emergency, including population control, which must be stabilized, ideally gradually reduced within a framework. They're already doing it. That's what the aerosols are. That's what the GMOs are. We have been in a eugenics program forever. The birth rates have gone down dramatically. In fact, humans are actually going extinct because nobody's having babies. They've programmed all the younger populations. They'd much rather be with an Xbox. They'd much rather be with some kind of computer gadget or a AI that looks like a person. I mean, it's just nuts what's going on. So who are these 11,000 scientists? They're not naming any of them. So here we go, man. If the scientists want to start a war with us, hey, bring it on. So while that's going on, you got, eugenics programs going on out here in New Delhi. Poisonous eye-burning pollution envelops New Delhi. Now, they've always had tons of issues out there in India, and we've reported on it a bunch of times. They actually cloud seed all the time, and it actually traps this stuff in. Look, here's what they're calling their causes of air pollution: vehicle emissions, crop burning, and fireworks. Are you kidding me? How about the bunker fuel? How about the chemtrail planes? Like, the news is so out of hand. Oh, construction causes pollution. Industrial emissions. It's just insane, man. The excuses they come up with to hide what they're really doing is it's mind-boggling. All right, so what I'm going to do here, let's go over to the climate. Wow, what happened to it? Let's jump over here. Where'd it go? What's going on? Oh, I got to zoom. All right. Now I was going to overlay the mimic map over here on the Climate Viewer 3D, but the date's wrong. It's on 2/17/2019. That ain't right. Okay, I can't do it then. I got to get that off there. Hold on, let me get rid of that. All right, let's get rid of that. Okay, I was wanting to show how the atmospheric river and the atmospheric river is headed right for California. You got two waves of it. Then you got a Category 5 typhoon over here that's headed right towards, California. There's like no way it shouldn't rain, but we have the bunker fuel operations over here. We have unknown atmospheric radar sensors. Of course, you have the Hart facility up to the north. You got the Arecibo over there to the west. You got Peru down here. And of course, where all these typhoons and cyclones are going on, you've got tons of ionospheric heaters over here too in India. Here's the 2.5 megawatts. It's crazy how these typhoons are coming in, doing U-turns, they're pinballing. We got the United Arab Emirates over here, completely shut off our PC. Give everybody a minute or two to jump back in here. We go ahead and move that over. think that was a warning shot. Anyway, we're trying to get this baby fired back up and see what's happening here. Okay, yeah, they really they shut us down like with the quickness. Like I don't even know yeah, just the screens went black, like instantly black. Just shut it off, shut us down midstream, right in the stream. Man, now all the pages are not loaded. So here, let me go ahead and just shut this one down. I don't know, we didn't get to go over it. Man, getting pretty ridiculous. We can't even stream the weather events in the news. All right. Well, it looks like we're all shuffling back in. They can shut us down. We'll just keep coming back. We're like a virus. We'll just keep on coming. Whoa, what's this? Yeah, we were talking about the United Arab Emirates, and I guess they didn't like that. So let me try to figure out what I got loaded here and what's not loaded. How about the worldview? That's the Wayback Machine. Yeah, I never, ever had that happen before. Not just shut it down, just instantly turn us off like that. I've had them, you know, freeze the stream up or something of that nature. But they just completely shut my computer down. My wife was fine. Her computer, no problem. She was on the other computer right across from me. And hers didn't do anything, just mine. They got my IP address. Somehow they've got through my all my blockers and stuff and got in here and got us shut down. So anyway, all right. So I totally was talking about India. Wow, is this even going to load? Look, did it take away everything I had loaded? It did. All right, we're just not going to use this now. Because it took me too long to load all that stuff up. Let's just jump right over here to the mimic map. And what I was getting ready to show you, we were talking about this hurricane over here, typhoon, cyclone, just pinballing back and forth. You got a couple of them here. You got one over here by the United Arab Emirates that they've been working with. They're sending it straight over to India, but it's not going to help the smog because it's going to go straight east. It's not going to go up where they need it to blow away the smog. But what I was getting ready to get into was here, the atmospheric river. We're looking at the rivers of the sky. And if you look over here in the Atlantic, over here off the East Coast, see how this atmospheric river just kind of rolls over like a wave of water, and it's going over here into, you know, the UK, Europe area. But if you go over here into the Pacific, the atmospheric river is being diverted up to Alaska. It's going against the winds. It's going against everything. And it's going way higher in, you know, up towards the Arctic Circle. Now, you have a cyclone right here, this big spinning mess right here. That's a Category 5 cyclone right here. So all this moisture is getting ready to push over towards California. And then you got this atmospheric river that's right there. Let's take a look at the clouds. Let me take this off for a minute. Look, all the clouds are butted up against the coast. but they're not letting the clouds go over the coast. How the hell are they stopping it? Well, they have the bunker fuel operations, but look, if you go over here, let me see if I can get the full deal to load here. None of this will be loaded now. So I can't really get, here's the cyclone right over in here. And when you get up here, there's actually bunker fuel being deployed. Look, right ahead of this typhoon that's coming. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 very visible bunker fuel ships out here. And they're not headed to a coast. They're not headed to a shipping lane. They're out here to control this system. They're blocking the moisture. And like I said, over here on the West Coast, we have all the tic-tac-toe grids. The better view of it is right here. Here's all the ships, you know, straight off the coast of California, and they go on up. And the secondary operations right out there. Yeah, here comes the moisture. Actually, it's right there. But anyway, you got 2 atmospheric river arms that are headed for the West Coast. Now, let me try to get over on North America so we can see this a little bit better. I think that was somebody other than YouTube that shut us down. That was somebody that shut my whole computer system down. Not my wife's, just mine. It just shut off. The whole thing went black instantly. No updates, no nothing like that. It just got shut off. That was a warning shot, which they've been messing with me for years, and they know I don't give a shit. They can shut me down. I'll just keep coming back. So here we are. We can actually see energy being pushed coming from Northern California. It looks like a Wi-Fi signal right here. If you can see my mouse, they're blasting energy down, pushing the atmospheric river down and away. This atmospheric river should be coming right over to California, but it's not. It's being manipulated. You can see it's a real fine, almost triangular shape, and then it rolls out like a Wi-Fi signal. It's being targeted by some kind of satellite-based weapon. It's probably not HARP, even though HARP's right above here, but it's the angle doesn't look quite right unless they're bouncing it off a VLF transmitter. I really don't think this would be HARP. I think this is something more up in the ionosphere, you know, way up there. So there are definitely signs of blockage, steering of the atmospheric river. We've showed several companies that steer this atmospheric river all the time. They do it down in Australia, Tasmania, Africa, India, the United Arab Emirates. And here's the thing, man. They've got this whole atmospheric river all messed up. This thing should be just a straight line, you know, whipping this way into the coast, but they're not letting it. And here's what's got me worried. This atmospheric river has been in the same pattern for months after months after months. And if you see in the Gulf of Mexico, this atmospheric river has been being pulled up. That's what flooded out the whole Midwest. If you look, it's all joining the northern part that's coming down, and then the Gulf of Mexico part, which just could lead to some crazy winter storms this winter. We're talking feet and feet of snow, and we're going to try to get into like a long range winter forecast here soon. But if this pattern does not change, man, we're in for like an ice age. You know, they just reported in Missouri that it was the coldest October on record. If you remember back a few months ago, Texas recorded the coldest ever June and July. So, you know, they use these solar cycles, the solar minimums, to try to push their agendas. But we can see what's really going on, man. We know they're affecting all this stuff. This thing doesn't even look normal. And then, you know, you got to wonder, the bunker fuel has something to do with it. So how are they stopping these clouds from getting over the land? I mean, this is the only spot on Earth that they're stopping the moisture from going into land, and they're pushing it down so it cycles back up and goes up and around, and then, you know, up to British Columbia, then back down, and then we're seeing that big stream up there. One thing I want to check just while we're here, let's go ahead and check the Arctic and the Antarctic, see what kind of stuff is going on here. So we'll see if we can get this to animate. A lot of times when we see the steering of the atmospheric river, we'll see the pink and the purples, which is usually a sign of plasma or a plasma event. Let me put this on like 24 frames, just see what it gives us. You know, look at all the farms that were destroyed by the floods, by the early cold air. Like, we got an anomaly right there, like something happened right there. All right, so we're not picking up a whole lot. We got a little bit of the pink, purple over here above the Bering Strait. That's way up there north. Let's go ahead and check the Antarctic. Yeah, you're right. We only have 2 seasons, summer and winter. Fall, we haven't had fall in a couple years, at least here in Missouri. We haven't had spring for the last couple of years. Tornado season is 12 months out of the year now. Yeah, we're not getting any kind of plasma, any kind of the lightning plasma down here whatsoever. So that's all looking pretty fine there. Okay, we can go ahead and get out of this. Oh, I didn't want to really look at that one. We know that one's dying down, but I want to take a look at this thing here. Let's copy this. Let's get this over in a browser you guys can see. Yeah, the sun's so hot because of the solar minimum. Our shields are weak. So look. This thing was supposed to be a category 3, and it instantly turns into a category 5. It's a category 5 right now. And it's headed right up. You know, let me see if I can back out so we can see. I had this all on the climate viewer so we could see the tracks. This thing just turned into a beast of a typhoon out here. Is that what they're calling it? A typhoon? Yeah, Typhoon Hailong. So that thing really picked up here. Let's check it out on the IR. Let's do a little animation here. Take off the tracks so we can see it. Spinning counterclockwise, so that's all right. Let's go in the right spin. Just kind of checking a few things here. Checking the shear. Yeah, it's got some pretty good shear winds it's going to be running into, so that's probably going to slow it down. But man, it's really powerful right now. Is there any? Here's our buoys. Where's our ships? So here's a couple of the ships that we've seen dropping the bunker fuel. You got ships in the path of a, you know, a Category 5 Typhoon. There's tons of ships out here. So right now it's at 900.3 millibars, man. That's pretty low. 905, 913. All right, let's go ahead and, I don't know if the visible will load. That's not really what I wanted, the visible 1 kilometer. So yeah, that eye wall isn't perfectly round like Dorian or Michael. This is a Category 5. This thing should look just like Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Dorian, with a perfect eye wall, super intense. See what it looks like on the Mimic. Yeah, definitely. I have everything backed up on multiple devices. So even if they fried this computer, I have tons of backups, different hard drives, flash drives. We're all backed up. Yeah, you should be buffering. We're still all in the green. Wow, look how fast that baby is spinning. Look at him pumping it up, pulsing it. See how it's pulsing? That's not the sun. They're actually practicing. Look at that. It's not even going through any kind of eye wall replacements. That sucker is staying constant. It's like they're, think of it like you got a magnifying glass and you're trying to burn a hole in a leaf. Well, the beam's a little wide at first when this thing first starts, and now they're focusing the beam. Now they have the beam on full power, spitting like crazy. See, here's where they weren't in focus. They're starting to get it focused. It's starting to tighten up. Man, that's got some insane rain bands and temperatures. So that's a wicked, wicked typhoon right there. Right now it's at 80 knots, 85 knots, 95, and it jumps up to 112 knots, 120, 135, 140, 155 knots. That is pretty wicked. Wonder if we can go check this out and see what the tropical cyclone page is saying is going on, or the tidbits. All right, so here we go. Let's see their tracks. Let's see their long tracks. Look, they got this, one of these tracks is going right up into the Aleutian Island chain, into the Bering. Oh wait, yeah, is that the islands, or is that the, okay, that's probably Kamchatka over there. So that's the Aleutian Island chains, which it'll die down. All that wind shear is going to get it. Let's see what it says here. Wave heights 45 feet. The winds are at 150 knots to 180 knots. Let's go check this on the, let's go ahead and check this baby out on the wave heights. Man, this thing really grew since yesterday. Pretty close to the Guam Islands. Here's Guam right there. Take the winds off, you can see the Guam Islands. Captain Guam, are you getting any kind of wind from this baby? 44-foot waves. So it's going to drop down pretty quick once it hits that wind shear. And look, all the wave anomalies have died down in the Antarctic. The waves had died way down with that cyclone over there. You just have like a... So you check this whole thing out. This whole ocean, the whole Pacific, has actually really high waves. Except for right here. Except for where the bunker fuel operations are. It's almost a straight line. You could almost argue straight down from Hart. Straight down, there's a line blocking these giant waves. That's crazy. Let me back it up a day. So yeah, you just had like a monstrous wave machine out here. Maybe they're trying to create a tsunami or something, like a tidal wave. They're holding it back. So that's pretty insane stuff right there. Wow, we got a big wave anomaly when I fast forwarded that. Look up here. You're looking at 31-foot waves. Looks like they're headed over to Europe. Whoa, and then they start back up over here. 40-foot waves. 35-foot waves getting ready to hit Greenland here in a couple days. Wonder if there'll be ice chunks in that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get out of that. Where'd my tropical cyclone page go? That's not the one I want. Alright guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and just call this a show. I'm going to go ahead and try to take care of some stuff. And we'll dig into this tomorrow. I mean, they've already shut us down. We know we can jump right back if they shut us out. But yeah. Alright, yeah, we're going to call this tonight. I'm going to go try to get some rest tonight. And we'll do this again tomorrow. We'll try to figure out what's going on tomorrow. And all that stuff. Anyway, guys, thanks for helping us. Thanks for sharing this out. Jumping back in when they took us out. And hopefully all the songs work tonight. And all that stuff. Anyway, guys, much love. We'll catch you tomorrow night, God willing. Make sure you subscribe to the backup channels. Make sure you subscribe to the D Lives, the Twitch, and all that, just in case they want to do some funny business here. Anyway, guys, let's rise up. Here we go. Hopefully they're in order. I don't know till I click it. It may not even click.